All right, what's good, man? Let's get into it. So, I wanted to make this video, and I was gonna talk about how the Dolphins are dark horses to go to, not the Falcons. I don't know why I said the Falcons. The Dolphins. Did I say Falcons or Dolphins? I don't know. I'm kind of tired of making this video, but how the Dolphins are underdogs to make the Super Bowl. But you know what? Honestly, looking at the AFC right now, I think the Dolphins are favored to go to the Super Bowl because I love you, Kansas City. You guys need more weapons. Buffalo, you guys are too inconsistent. I don't believe in the Bengals. I don't believe in the Chargers. I don't even know who else. Those are like the main contenders. In Jacksonville, I'm sorry, I don't believe in you. And plus, Trevor Lawrence might be injured. But I think the Dolphins are the favorite to go to the Super Bowl coming out the AFC. In Baltimore, I don't believe in you either. Baltimore, I do not believe in you either. I actually have another dark horse coming out on Friday talking about another team in Baltimore's division, which is, another video for Friday. But let's talk about the fact how Tua Tagovailoa is the MVP of this league and no one's talking about it. No one's talking about it. Everybody's talking about, Taylor Swift for some reason. Everybody's talking about, I don't know. They're talking about, how the quarterbacks are playing bad. They're talking about the tush push about should we ban the tush push. But I find it funny how no one's talking about the fact that Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins are putting up historical numbers that we haven't seen since the 07 Patriots, since the greatest show on turf, since the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. And that the leader of it is Tua Tagovailoa. No one wants to sit here and talk about maybe Tua Tagovailoa is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. No one wants to talk about the fact that Tua Tagovailoa might be the second best, maybe third best quarterback in the league right now. Mahomes is number 1, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But number 2, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Jalen and Tua, I mean, I love Jalen. Don't get it wrong. Philly fans, I love Jalen. And I would put Jalen number 2. But Tua's just right there. No one's talking about the fact how Tua's staying healthy. Like I said, I made a video about Tua Tagovailoa, right? I said Tua Tagovailoa, this will be his his year because he's coming off an injury and he wants to get the bag. What did I tell you? It's the same thing about Daniel Jones. Same thing about Blake Bortles and Baker Mayfield. Anytime these guys have a year where it's time to pay up, they always ball out. For some reason, it doesn't matter whether it's injury prone and whether they sucked for 2 to 3 years. For some reason, anytime a quarterback has a year when it's time for him to get paid, they ball out. Now, granted, Tua Tagovailoa is way better than Daniel Jones. He's better than Baker Mayfield. He's better than Blake Bortles ever was. Tua Tagovailoa's last year was his coming out party. The only problem with Tua Tagovailoa was, honestly, to be honest with you, his injuries. That was the only thing holding Tua back from being over there. And also, by the way, the whole Brian Flores situation where Brian Flores said, we should have drafted Justin Herbert ahead of you and stuff like that. Listen, he has a head coach that believes in him. He has an offense that works for him, and he's staying healthy. Now, granted, it is week 7. We still got, 18 weeks, 19 weeks now? So we still got more weeks to go, a lot of more weeks to go, plus the playoffs. And plus, I need to see the Miami Dolphins also do this towards the end of the year when they have to go to cold places and play in the cold. Because once again, weather and factors come into that. But at the same time, look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL. They're not playing as well as Tua. They're not playing as well as Tua. You can sit here and say the weapons this, the weapons that. I'm sorry. You need to make your weapons. Say what you want about it. You need to make your weapons. And whether you like it or not, Tua makes his weapons. He makes his weapons. He knows how to use the Tyreek Hills. He knows how to use the what's his name? the Jalen Waddles and the Mozarts and stuff. And once again, I said it with Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna say it with Tua. It's not his fault. His GM and his owner and his head coach believe in him to go get him weapons. Like, I don't understand this. Well, if he didn't have the weapons, okay, so what? The quarterbacks need weapons. There's only certain quarterbacks who don't need weapons. Mahomes and Brady, maybe Rodgers. But at the same time, it's not his fault that his team is actually built around him. So what do you want him to say? Okay, Tua, here's some Walmart greeters and some cashiers who work at the corner store. Go win a Super Bowl. No, you're supposed to say, go get Tyreek Hill. Go draft Jalen Waddle. Go trade for Mozart. And Tua is doing a phenomenal job. He's doing a phenomenal job with what he's doing now. The dude is the MVP. He's balling out of his mind. He wants that bag. And honestly, he deserves that bag. But at the same time, once again, of course, health is a factor. Of course, he needs to do it in the postseason. He needs to do it towards the end of the season because the Dolphins were starting to kind of flame out towards the end of the season last year. Now, granted, Tua was coming off an injury, the whole concussion thing, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, he looks healthy to me now. He looks good now. This might be the year we see Tua. He might go to the AFC Championship game. He might go to a Super Bowl. And looking like at the NFC, I mean, besides the Eagles, and that's a big if, I'm picking the Dolphins over the 49ers all day, every day. I'm picking the Dolphins over the Cowboys all day, every day. Rams, Seattle, whoever. The only tough test is maybe the Eagles. But if the Eagles don't get healthy and don't, be consistent on offense, the Dolphins might win that one too. And listen, for all the Eagles fans, shout out to all the Eagles fans out there who rock with me. I'm just keeping it real. And I cannot wait to see this Eagles Dolphins game this Sunday. This might be Super Bowl preview right here. But I will say that I'm gonna save my pick'ems for later because that's a game where Dolphins, you might be in trouble there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, we need to give Tua his credit, man. We need to give Tua his credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we bash Tua for being unhealthy. We bash Tua for this, that, and third. And listen, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not a big fan of the left-handed quarterback. Just for some reason, left-handed quarterbacks, especially me being an Oklahoma and a Florida State fan, I have two left-handed quarterbacks at my college. It looks weird, but at the same time, it works for Tua. It works for Tua. Especially when you got two speedsters out there who can catch up and who can who can run, and who also can come back and catch the ball. That is amazing. Also, let's talk about the fact that they have Mozart in the backfield tearing it up. Good offensive line. Now, I do think the Dolphins need to, get a little consistency on defense. The defense gives up a lot of points, but they get Jalen Ramsey back. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey, Florida State alum. And that might help. Jalen Ramsey might not be the same player, but he has a veteran presence and he knows what to do at this point. He knows where to be instead of how to get there off of athleticism. And once again, the Dolphins kind of remind me of the Eagles, where they might go make a trade at the trade deadline. They traded for Bradley Chubb last year at the trade deadline. I think they traded for Mozart too at the trade deadline too, if not the offseason. So the Dolphins are not scared to put all their eggs into Tua. But let's talk about the fact that how Tua is the MVP this year, and no one's talking about it because he's not the sexy pick. Pause. He's not the Justin Herbert. He's not the Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or someone like that. Like, this is beyond horrible. I have never seen an NFL season where a quarterback is putting up phenomenal numbers and no one's talking about the MVP. I haven't heard one MVP conversation yet. All I heard was trajectory of who was going to win the MVP. People said Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Justin Herbert. No one's talking about the MVP anymore. This is like the first time in NFL history, or the first time I've been watching, that no one's talking about the MVP. The MVP is literally talked about at least till week 2, week 3. Oh, he's going to win the MVP. He's going to win the MVP. No, he's going to win the MVP. No one's talking about it. No one's talking about it. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And for any Dolphins fans, shout out to that one Dolphins fans with the Jalen Waddle thumbnail in my comment section. And I hope you share this video, and any other Dolphin fans that see this, man. Tua deserves his credit. I'm giving him his credit. Dude's been balling out. I made prediction videos saying you guys are going to win that division, and it's looking like you guys are going to win that division. Now, granted, you guys do need to beat the Bills at home. You need to finish off the Bills. But even the Bills are looking beatable. My Giants scared them, and the Jets scared them. So I believe you guys can scare them too. You guys can beat them too. I had you guys win that division too. I had you guys being the dark horse, but honestly, you guys look like the favorites come out the AFC. Because once again, Chiefs, you need another offensive player. Bills, we don't believe in you. Bengals, I don't believe in you. Chargers, no one believes in you. And I can't even think of anybody else. And Jacksonville, I mean, that's another dark horse. But once again, Trevor Lawrence is injured. And listen, Trevor Lawrence is good, but at the same time, he's too robotic for me. Like, I mean, Trevor Lawrence is good, but, you know, I don't know. There's just something about him. But that's my thoughts, man. What are yours? Dolphins fans, how you feeling, man? RJ out.